You're not going to like hearing this, but one habit, just one, might be taking years off your life. And the scariest part? Most people over 60 do it every single day without realizing the damage it's causing. Now, I don't say that to scare you, but to shake you a little. Because the truth is, growing older doesn't have to mean growing weaker. It doesn't have to mean giving up your energy, your independence, or your sharpness. But if you're holding on to this one silent habit, you might be doing exactly that. So let me ask you something. Do you ever find yourself sitting for long periods without really moving? I'm not just talking about lounging on the couch after dinner or watching your favorite show. I mean sitting throughout the day while reading, eating, resting, maybe even just staring out the window. It might seem harmless, comfortable, even, but here's the hard truth. Sitting too much and moving too little is one of the most dangerous habits we adopt after 60. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "I'm just taking it easy," let's break it down. When you sit for long stretches, especially without getting up regularly, your muscles start to weaken, especially the ones that keep your balance strong and your legs steady. The less you move, the more your body gets used to not moving. And slowly, quietly, you start to lose strength, flexibility, and even circulation. Your back aches more, your knees feel stiffer, you get winded quicker, and all of it makes you want to sit even more. It's a sneaky cycle, and the older we get, the faster it takes hold. But here's the good news. It's not too late to turn around. Think about this. If you're still able to get up from a chair without using your hands, that's a sign your body's still working well. If not, don't panic. It's a red flag, not a death sentence. You can rebuild strength. Start small. Stand up every 30 minutes. Walk around the house. Stretch. Wiggle your toes. Move your arms. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be consistent. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, but I have bad knees, or my back hurts when I walk. I get it, but that's even more reason to keep moving. Because the more you avoid movement, the harder it becomes to get it back. Muscles don't retire just because you do. They'll work for you as long as you keep using them. And listen, I'm not saying you need to run marathons. I'm saying movement is medicine. Even a 5-minute walk after meals can lower your blood sugar, improve digestion, and reduce the risk of heart disease. Think about that. 5 minutes could add years to your life. Let me tell you a quick story. There's a gentleman named Harold I used to know, 78 years old, sharp as a tack, but started slowing down. His doctor warned him, "You need to walk more." Harold shrugged it off, said he was just tired. A year later, he needed a walker, and not because of any disease, just because his legs forgot how to support him. That's what too much sitting does. It quietly takes away the strength you thought you'd always have. So now that we've tackled the biggest habit, sitting too much, let's talk about another sneaky one that often goes hand in hand with it. Eating out of boredom. You know the kind I mean. It's not lunchtime. It's not dinner time. But you're sitting in your favorite chair, the TV's on, and suddenly that bag of chips or those cookies in the pantry start calling your name. You're not hungry. You're just passing time. It's something most of us have done, and if we're being honest, still do. But after 60, those extra little bites come at a bigger cost. Our metabolism naturally slows down. Our body doesn't process sugar and fat the way it used to. And what once was just a light snack can turn into extra pounds, blood sugar spikes, or even digestive issues that stick around far longer than we'd like. Now, I'm not saying you should never enjoy a treat. Life's too short not to have something sweet once in a while. But here's the difference. Are you eating because your body needs fuel, or because your mind is bored? That's the key question. If you're grabbing food just to pass time, it might be a sign that you need to fill your time with purpose, not just snacks. Take a walk, call a friend, read something new. Even organizing a drawer or watering your plants can shift your mindset from "I'm bored" to "I'm engaged." Because when you have something to do, your mind isn't constantly looking for comfort in the kitchen. One viewer once told me, "I realized I wasn't hungry. I was just lonely." That hit me hard, because food fills the belly but not the heart. And what many people really crave is connection, not calories. So here's what I want you to take from this part of our talk. Your body still wants to move. Your body still wants to be fed well, but it needs you to be in charge again. Because the moment we give into stillness and boredom is the moment we start aging faster than we should. If you're still with me right now, it means something inside you is ready to make a change. And that's powerful. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to start with one small step, one smarter choice, one new habit that reminds your body it's still very much alive. Now that we've uncovered how sitting too much and mindless eating can quietly shave years off your life, let's keep this momentum going, because the truth is, once you become aware of a habit that's silently hurting your health, you can't ignore it anymore. Not if you care about living well and living long. And we've already talked about two habits that creep into your life without much noise: sitting too long and eating when you're not really hungry. But there's another one that's just as damaging. And honestly, it's hiding in plain sight. It's the habit of not getting enough quality sleep. Now, I don't mean you just feel a little tired here and there. I'm talking about poor, fragmented, or restless sleep night after night, waking up multiple times, lying awake staring at the ceiling, feeling groggy even after what you thought was a full night in bed. Let's get one thing straight. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's not a bonus. It's not something you try to catch up on later. It is one of the most powerful tools your body uses to repair itself, to clean out your brain, to regulate your blood pressure, to keep your immune system strong. And when sleep gets disrupted too often, it's like running a machine without ever giving it maintenance. Sooner or later, things break down. You ever notice how after a bad night of sleep, everything just feels harder? Your balance feels off. You get irritated faster. Your memory feels a little fuzzy. That's not in your head. It's biology. And if poor sleep becomes a pattern, it can increase your risk of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, even cognitive decline. The most dangerous part? A lot of people don't even realize their sleep is poor until their health starts slipping. They think waking up 4 or 5 times a night is just part of getting older, but it's not. It's a signal. Your body is trying to tell you something. So what can you do? Start by asking yourself a few simple questions. Am I going to bed at the same time every night? Or is my schedule all over the place? Is my bedroom cool and quiet or too hot and stuffy? Do I drink tea, water, or juice late into the evening and then wonder why I'm up 3 times to use the bathroom? These small choices matter more than most people think. Let me tell you about someone I met through the channel. Her name's Eleanor. She's 72 and sharp as a tack. But a few months back, she started noticing that she was forgetting little things, names, appointments, where she put her glasses. She got worried it was early dementia. But after making just a few tweaks to her sleep routine, cutting caffeine after 2 p.m., lowering her thermostat at night, and turning off screens an hour before bed, her clarity started coming back. Her energy improved. And the fear, it faded. Sleep isn't just about rest. It's about protection. It's your body's nightly repair mode. So if you've been brushing off your sleep struggles, it's time to take them seriously. You deserve rest that heals you, not just hours on the clock. Now let's shift to another habit that's just as easy to overlook: spending too much time alone. I know, some folks love their solitude. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying your own company. But there's a difference between choosing quiet time and being isolated. And as we get older, it's far too easy to slip from one into the other. When we retire, when our kids move away, when old friends pass or grow distant, our social circles can shrink. And when you don't have regular conversations, laughter, or simple check-ins with others, your mental and emotional health can start to fade quietly, but powerfully. Studies have shown that social isolation is just as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in. And it's not just about depression or loneliness. It affects your immune system, your heart, even your chances of developing dementia. But here's the hopeful part. Connection doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to mean throwing big dinner parties or joining noisy clubs. It can be a daily phone call with your sister, a chat with your neighbor while watering the plants, even saying hello to someone at the store. That moment of eye contact, that smile, it matters. And if you're someone who feels like the phone never rings anymore, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You don't have to wait for someone else to reach out. Be the one who picks up the phone. Be the one who sends a card. You'd be amazed how many people are also sitting at home, waiting for someone to remember them. I remember a gentleman named Carl, 79, lived alone, used to say he was just fine by himself. But once a week, he started walking over to a nearby park where other retirees would gather for a game of cards and conversation. Nothing big, just an hour or two of friendly faces. Within weeks, his mood lifted, his energy came back, and he said something that stuck with me. Turns out, I didn't know how lonely I was until I wasn't anymore. It's never too late to reconnect, to build new friendships, to feel part of something again. Because no matter how independent you are, your spirit still needs connection. So let's pause and reflect. Are you sleeping well? Are you connecting with others regularly? If the answer to either is not really, then that's where your work starts. But here's the encouraging part. The moment you decide to take these small habits seriously is the moment your health trajectory can start to shift. It's not about overhauling your life overnight. It's about doing a little better today than you did yesterday. It's about protecting your brain, your heart, and your joy. Because the longer you sit in silence, the louder your body will have to speak to get your attention. So now that we've explored how lack of sleep and social disconnection can quietly age you faster than any number ever could, let's keep peeling back the layers of this one sneaky habit and how you can start living better, not just longer. And as we peel back these layers, what we're really uncovering isn't just one habit, it's a pattern of stillness, of disengagement, of letting your body slow down while your spirit still has so much life left in it. And perhaps the most dangerous layer of all, neglecting mental stimulation. Now, let me be clear. Mental decline is not a guaranteed part of aging. Your brain doesn't have an expiration date, but it does have one requirement. You must keep using it. And I don't mean solving calculus problems or memorizing trivia facts. I mean challenging your brain in ways that keep it sharp, curious, and alive. When you stop reading new things, when you stop learning, when your days all start to look the same, that's when the trouble begins. The brain, like any muscle, weakens when it's underused. And over time, you begin to feel the fog set in. You lose track of conversations. You walk into rooms and forget why. You feel less confident, less engaged, and more dependent on others to remind you of the details you used to manage with ease. This isn't something that happens overnight. It creeps in, quietly, slowly, until one day, you're not sure how it got so hard to focus. But it doesn't have to be this way. I once knew a woman named Grace, 84 years old, sharp as a tack, and always full of laughter. You know what her secret was? She challenged her brain every single day. She did crossword puzzles, yes, but she also watched documentaries, wrote in a journal, called her grandkids to learn about the new apps they were using. She didn't shy away from technology. She leaned into it, not because it was easy, but because it kept her engaged. And the result? Her memory stayed strong. Her stories stayed rich. And most of all, she never stopped feeling like herself. You don't have to be Grace, but you can follow her example. Learn a new skill, even a small one. Try writing down a short story from your past. Play a game that makes you think. Memorize a new phone number instead of always relying on your contacts list. Simple things, but powerful. And if you ever catch yourself saying, "Oh, I'm too old for that," stop yourself. Because that's the real habit that shortens lives. The belief that it's too late to grow. It's not. And that brings me to the final piece of this puzzle. The part that ties everything together. The habit that creeps into the mind after too many days of stillness, loneliness, poor sleep, and mental neglect. It's giving up on purpose. This is the most invisible danger of all. You stop chasing goals. You stop planning for the future. You stop believing your days hold meaning. And when that happens, when your purpose fades, something inside begins to wither. And I want you to hear this. You are not done yet. I don't care if you're 60, 70, 80, or 95. You still have a reason to get out of bed in the morning. It may not be a career or a business or raising a family anymore, but purpose can be small and still powerful. A garden that needs watering, a neighbor who needs a kind word, a story that only you can tell, a photo album that needs sorting, a child who needs your wisdom. I once met a man named Thomas who lived alone after his wife passed. He said he felt useless, forgotten. I just watched the days go by, he told me, until one day he started recording short video messages to his grandchildren, just little thoughts, memories, advice. They watched them. They laughed. They cried. They started asking him questions, calling more often. He told me. That gave me a reason to wake up again. Purpose doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be yours. And the moment you stop looking for it, the moment you accept the lie that you're just meant to coast through the rest of your life, that's when your health starts to slip, not just physically, but in your heart, in your soul. So ask yourself, what gets you up in the morning? And if the answer is, I'm not sure anymore, then it's time to find something, anything, because no medication, no supplement, no fitness tracker will ever be more powerful than a person with reason to live. Let that be the message that sticks. The habit that might be shortening your life isn't one thing. It's the combination of little choices that pull you away from life. Sitting too long, eating out of boredom, sleeping poorly, avoiding connection, letting your mind go quiet, and above all, forgetting that you still matter. But the good news? Every one of those habits can be reversed. Every single one. You are still in control. And your next move could be the one that adds years to your life. Not just more years, but better ones, richer ones, more joyful ones. Let's keep going because that's the real goal, isn't it? Not just to live longer, but to live better. To wake up every day knowing you have something to look forward to. To move through the years with strength, clarity, and the kind of confidence that reminds you you are still here and you are still in charge of how you spend your days. And now that we've laid it all out, the hidden dangers of stillness, the risks of poor sleep, the loneliness that sneaks in when we stop reaching out, the slow fading of mental sharpness when we stop challenging ourselves, and the most dangerous habit of all, losing our sense of purpose. It all comes down to one simple choice. Do you let these things keep pulling you away from life, or do you fight back? Because here's what I know. It's never too late to make a change. Never. You can move more. Even if it's just a little at a time. You can improve your sleep. Even if you start with small adjustments. You can reconnect. Even if it's just a phone call. You can keep your mind sharp. Even if it's just by trying something new today. And you can find purpose. Even if it's in the smallest moments. You don't have to fix everything all at once. You just have to start. One step, one choice, one habit at a time. And if you're thinking, but what if I've already wasted too much time? Let me stop you right there. Because you haven't. If you're watching this, if you're still breathing, then you still have time. Think about this. A year from now, where do you want to be? Do you want to be stronger, sharper, more engaged, more fulfilled? Then start acting like it today. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, today. And if you need some encouragement, hear this. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not done yet. But if you do nothing, if you let these habits continue to control your life, then yes, the days will start slipping by, the strength will fade, the fog will settle in. And one day, you'll look back and wish you had fought just a little harder. So don't wait for that day. Right now, in this moment, make a promise to yourself, a real promise, to move more, to engage more, to wake up with purpose, to refuse to let life shrink around you. Because the truth is, your best days aren't behind you. They're still waiting for you. And whether you get to them or not, that's up to you. If this message spoke to you today, let me know in the comments. Tell me one thing you're going to change, one small step you're going to take. Because when you put it into words, when you make it real, that's when it starts. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, because this channel is here for you, to keep you motivated, to keep you informed, to remind you that aging is not a countdown, it's an opportunity. Let's keep pushing forward together. Here's to living longer, stronger, and with more purpose than ever before. I'll see you in the next video.